Good morning, Cleveland, Ohio. How you guys doing on the North Coast today? Guys, we're really excited today because on our show we have a great guest, Gary Shimoleski. He's the president of Northern Ohio Printing here on the North Coast. One of the top printers in Cleveland, Ohio. They're right on the cutting edge of all technology, and they are somebody, if you guys need a good printer, you definitely want to look up Northern Ohio Printing. Now guys, what we want to do on the show today is we want to ask Gary some kind of questions that helped him with the success of their company, that brought them to be one of the top printing companies in Cleveland. And we're going to get right into that right now, guys. And I'm first going to look over to Gary and say, Gary, what inspired you at Northern Ohio Printing? What was the main inspiration to get this great company going?
The main inspiration was a dream that God put in my heart at a young age. I pursued it from basically when I was 10 years old, working for a neighbor down the street who owned a printing company, to taking it in high school, and then to pursuing it after school, getting into being a print broker for 5 years, and then after that, Northern Ohio Printing was formed.
Wow. And how long have you been in business, Gary?
24 years.
Wow, that's a long time, guys. Today in any kind of business, you have to constantly reinvent yourself to stay number one like Northern Ohio Printing. The second question I want to ask Gary is, he is a professing Christian businessman, and every once in a while we like to have people of faith on our show here and understand what role your faith may have played in your business. How do you treat people maybe differently? Or Gary, tell us how your faith plays out in this business.
Well, the business is all about God being in the center, and our business is focused on relationships, not transactions, but relationships, long term. That's great. So we look to build relationships to help companies look at the different things that they're doing, and we like to give them ideas, and we like to give them that creativity to help inspire them to help their companies, and it's really about bringing value.
That's great.
If we can bring value to somebody, then we're fulfilling our purpose, and it's about purpose and about what God has called us to do. And I think that everybody gets called into something. Everybody has a calling, and it's about purpose. And you have to put purpose over preference.
That's right.
And a lot of us entrepreneurs have a lot of different ideas, and we want to go, 1,000 miles an hour, but yet we have to focus on the purpose, and God will take you back down to that purpose. And step by step will take you along the journey, and it's.
Now that's one thing we've talked about a lot on the show, Gary, is I call it a gifting. Understanding your gifting, what God meant you to do in this life, and it sounds like you found your gifting, and it sounds like you're operating in your gifting too.
Absolutely.
To be at it for 25 years, guys, you got to be operating in your gifting.
Absolutely.
One of the other things that many of you in our audience may be wondering is, when you start a new business, there's many trials that come your way, and one of the big ones that every businessman knows is cash flow. Sometimes you have all the money in the world, and sometimes you're broke. And how does that play a role in a business today, and how maybe we can give you some pointers on managing your cash flow? Gary, what do you have to say about cash flow? Can you relate to what I just said?
Yeah, cash flow is very important, and I think what you have to do is when the cash is there, you have to be wise in how you spend your money, as far as paying your bills, and what equipment or what your investments are, future investments are. And in the leaner times, you basically have to go to your daily disciplines. Your daily disciplines will get you through the leaner times, and then when the harvest comes, as they would say, at that point, then you'll know what to do with all the finances and all the assets that come in.
Do you ever panic?
Never.
And why do you think you're different from other people? What makes you not panic when you see times that, like, what am I going to do? What do you do in times like that? What do you rely on? What do you lean on? How do you handle that?
It goes back to my faith. And again, the three disciplines, I would say, of my faith are worship, word, and prayer. Those things I do every single day.
That's great.
And those are the things I go back on, and it's God's company. And when you put it in that perspective, God already knows your needs before you know them.
I like that. Yeah, that's true.
And then at that point, you put your trust in Him, and knowing that if He's called you to do it, and if He calls you into that industry,
He's gonna
then He
supply.
will supply. So where He leads you, He provides for you.
That makes sense, Gary, because one of the things I've learned in time is that if you're a believer out there, you believe in God, one thing I know for sure is it says in the Bible that every single thing that goes through our hands, that goes through our minds, everything has to go to the sovereign will of God first. It has to flow into God's hands, and He is totally aware of everything that goes through our lives before it even happens. So we get all worked up a lot of times over things, but God already saw the plan.
Right, and I think you have to live an open-handed life, where your hands are open for God to supply, and then your hands to go out to where God wants you, where He wants you to take it. So,
Yeah.
having that open-handed life really makes a difference. So it gives you that sowing and reaping principle.
That's good.
God, you're always sowing, you're reaping, and then you're always sowing again. So
It's a continual process.
continual process, yes.
Okay, Gary, now since we have a lot of entrepreneurs out here, both male and female, what do you think you could share with our audience, things that may have helped you succeed? Maybe you even want to describe what success to you is, but give us some secrets maybe you have to help us in our businesses. What can we do to maybe learn from you, of your 25 years of experience that may help us?
I think the biggest thing you have to do is you have to learn to be able to get past your mistakes. Okay, walking into faith and knowing that you're not, everything's not going to be perfect. You look at your mistakes as fertilizer.
That's a good
So
way to look at it.
basically, every mistake you make is basically going back in the ground and fertilizing it and preparing that soil for a greater harvest. And I
That's
think
a great analogy.
learning from the mistakes that you make and being able to move forward from those and creating culture in your business. It's all about culture. Creating a culture with good people is important, and it's a team of people that make Northern Ohio Printing what it is today.
That's great. So it's not all about you, you're
No.
saying. It's all about the team
Right.
that brings Northern Ohio to the same goal, right?
Right. We have people and the technology that bring the value to our customers. We serve over 900 clients, and the biggest thing that we can offer that other printing companies don't, the value that we bring is we like to sit down at the table when the project is in the conceptual stage, not in the quoting stage.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're helping companies there and also helping them with online storefronts, things where they can order their products. Most companies today have downsized. They don't have the big marketing departments that they used to have, so one
Right.
person is doing 10 different things. So we come up with things that can bring value to them so that they can manage what they do with just the print, but help them with the rest of their job.
Okay, now Gary, I know when you came in earlier today, we were kind of reminiscing about some things, and one thing that really kind of hit me is the fact that you said Northern Ohio always has to stay above the curve. They always have to come up with new technology. They always have to stay ahead of the competition. Is that easy today, Gary, with being in a global marketplace and all the different technologies out there and how expensive they are? I mean, how do you guys do that?
It's not easy. We've been doing this for probably 20 years. So we've gone through every recession. We've reinvented ourselves several times in the last 15 years. And I think the key is getting the technology and having that competitive edge that nobody, we have things right now that there's no other printers in our region can do.
Wow.
So that draws in interest in number one, technology. I mean, we're the experts, so
Yeah.
we have to be the experts. So being up on technology and changing with the times, people, we're a trusted advisor of our clients, not just a commodity printer, ink on paper printer.
That's interesting because, folks, that's one of the things I've shared with all of you that today, when you look at the Sears and the Kmart's and the Toys R Us and all these big companies have failed, guys. I mean, just think how the quality of Sears was. Sears really had it together at one time. So did Kmart. These were great organizations, and now they are no more. And it's because they refuse to embrace change. And Gary has said his company embraces change, and they actually know how to get to the future and how to get to a better place by embracing that change. Now, Gary, is there anything else you'd like to share, maybe along the way that you've learned that could help our young entrepreneurs out here Maybe you might want to talk about the way money plays a role in a company or something like that. Because a lot of people worship the almighty dollar. It's all about the money. I know myself and I know you, it's more about service and then the money comes.
Right.
But would you like to maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think you have to stay the course. Focus. What I do is I focus on the promise. I know what God promised me when we started this business, and I focus on that. But your daily routines and the things that come at you all day long are things that we don't make decisions anymore. When I was earlier on in the business, I used to just go out and buy the equipment and make those technology changes myself. Now I take it to prayer and I really do my due diligence before I buy a piece of equipment, or I also investigate where our technology is going and where we're going to be at 1 year from now, 3 years, and 5 years. So you have to have a vision.
So you're not half-heartedly just jumping into things. You guys are investigating pretty much every move you make.
Right, and it's all about vision. Where's your company going to be a year from now, and down the road? You have to look at how it's going to affect you, not just now, but what is this purchase or investment going to do for you 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Do you ever get to a point, though, where you invest in some technology and then you get to the 5 years and now the technology's changed? Guys, that happens to us all the time. I mean, anybody in the travel agent world knows that they'll go on one system and then just as they learn it, now the system has changed. So, how do we cope with that?
I think you just have to, you got to try to minimize everything. I've made some equipment mistakes. I've made some software mistakes, but I think as I progress and I look back, I have to just take it, do more due diligence in what I'm doing. And I think don't look at what the other companies are doing. You got to look at what's your vision of your company. It doesn't matter what the company on the left of me or the right of me is doing. It's what are we called to do, and that's really what we stay upon, our purpose and our vision and our goals, and that seems to be stay in that course. And I think when you start looking at what other people are doing and their successful at it, doesn't mean you're going to be successful at it.
That's a great point, guys. A lot of people don't think about that, but it may not be for them. That's really good. Guys, thank you so much for joining in today. It was great having Gary. We thank you for coming down to our studio today, and it's been a pleasure having Gary. And remember, that's Northern Ohio Printing. They're right here on the north coast of Ohio, and if you guys would like their phone number, it's 216-398-0000. Again, 216-398-0000. And guys, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you got something out of these insights today. And God bless America, and you guys have a great day, okay? Dave Fritz signing out, and a hooey ho till we meet again.